What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. What's up? What's up?
Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Awesome turkey day.
How was yours, Dave?
Mine was good. I ate, I slept, I ate, I slept, and rinsed and repeated.
Sounds like every day's Thanksgiving for Dave.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. We kept it small. It was just three of us, and it was good. We had a really good time, and it was just nice to be home for a change.
Nice.
So we just hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving and
Nice.
got enough to eat.
Hi, Haley. We see you in there. How you doing? So I want to give a quick shout out to York Ghost Tours.
What's up, Laura?
Hey, Laura. We've got a lot of good things down their pipe going on, and contact York Ghost Tours. They got some good things going on. Otherwise, what's been going on with you?
Nothing, man. Just same old rat race, trying to make it through the winter, make it to Christmas.
Amen.
My brain's not past Christmas.
Yeah.
Once Christmas is, then we can, start.
Yep.
But before we get our special guest on the line here,
Right.
I just wanted to take a minute. For those of you that have been on our Paranormal Inc. page, prior to it being renamed Paranormal Inc., it originally was American Ghost Hunters. I started that page like almost 5 years ago.
Okay.
Basically, there's a lot of group pages out there that with the same purpose in mind, where it's just to unite everybody that's all around. Well, I would say the country, but there's even some people on there, from other countries that watch our podcast. And, the purpose behind it was to get everyone together and share your spookiness and your funny stories and your pictures and evidence and, do it all without being judged, without being criticized, and just, throw your evidence or your stories out there and, we all enjoy them. And I can honestly say, for the first time in almost 5 years, a derogatory comment was made the other day.
First post that we had to delete.
On my page. Yep. And for everybody that follows our page, I want to apologize. Not everybody's going to get along. I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah.
And people have gripes or whatever, but just, out of respect for the person that you're trashing and out of respect for Dave and I and for everybody that enjoys our Paranormal Inc.
It's
page.
okay to disagree. That's okay to disagree.
Let's just, let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not trash talk. We don't need it.
I mean, it's just, we understand. Everybody don't get along. Somebody's always going to have a problem, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
But just, there's a time
Keep
and
it
place.
classy.
Yeah, and when we have, we have a lot of kids that follow the page. They really enjoy, some of the pictures and videos and all that stuff. So, just that's not what the page is for, man. It's not the Jerry Springer show or, and what I mean. So, on that note, just, continue to follow the page, enjoy it, continue to throw your evidence up there, your stories, your photos. And, it's like I said, that page has been up and running for almost 5 years. And that's the first time I've ever had to, take a ad off. And basically, I'm all about supporting each other.
Yep.
Whether other
Para-unity.
groups, other show, whatever the case may be, it's para-unity. And we're here to support each other and help each other along the way. And there's so many friendships, if you think about it, Dave. There's so many friendships that were brought together on our page that people don't know each other. They get to chatting or whatever, and then when events come up or paracons come up, they actually meet face to face, and they're friends now off of the page. So, I originally started it in 2015. For all good, all love, all support. So let's just keep it that way. So,
amen, brother.
On that note, I'm going to make a quick phone call.
She's actually already in her room saying hi.
All right, and I'm going to get her on the line here in a second.
Telephone rabbit.
Give me a second here.
One time's up. You're in overtime. Ah! You guys know by now, I'm evil.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, gorgeous. I will let Ernie have the privilege this time. Usually it's me, but I'll let him have the privilege this time of introducing you.
For those of you that are watching or listening, we have the beautiful Miss Sysco Murdoch live on the phone. She is the host of Journey Through the Gate, which is an amazing radio podcast that we were so honored to be on. I believe twice, right, Sysco?
Absolutely twice.
Yep.
And
Just the beginning.
I'm sorry?
Just the beginning.
Yeah, got us hooked on the fever, so we had to get our own.
Yeah, it was. It's always such a good time when you have us on there. Our conversations and our stories just get so deep. You know what I mean?
Oh gosh, so much fun.
So, well, Sysco, tell us a little bit about Miss Sysco Murdoch and
Who you are, what you do, all that kind of stuff.
All that good stuff.
Oh gosh, man, what do you want to know? I didn't do it. First of all, I didn't do it. You can't prove it.
Wasn't me. Wasn't me.
Well, the thing is I've done a lot of things. I think here we go. We're going down a road. Ready, guys?
I'm ready.
Here we go. I've started to begin to understand. Of course, we'll never fully understand anything in this subject, but I'm comfortable with the theory that some of us come through, I think we're all old souls, but I think some of us come through and say, this time I'm going to do all of it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to get in there and try this and try that. So I've done a lot of things. I think it's possible I might be one of those, one of those people that just come through and I say, I didn't get to do this last time. Maybe I'm going to try that. Or either that or it's some kind of genetic memory, because I'll go after things like, for like 2 years solid, I'll make candles and herbs and my own shampoos and soaps and shaving creams and things. And I'll go like, okay, I hit that glass ceiling next. I'll do the next thing. So I do a lot of different things. I run my own wire sculpting gemstones business at Wickedly Wired Wearable Art. I do dream catchers and canopies and out of vintage doilies and weave my own dream catchers. I'm an author. I just put out a book, and I'm on my last chapter of my second book.
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice.
I'm still working on my first. I keep hitting roadblocks where I have to divert my attention elsewhere for a while, and then I lose my train of thought. And you know how it's not something you can just sit down and force yourself to do. It's the mood's got to catch you.
Right. You do, and sometimes it'll flow, and and sometimes. Well, mine was easier, I think, because I just wrote on memories and experiences that happened to me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So the material was already there. I just had to put it together in a way that it made sense.
See, that's
possible. Because
the book I'm working on, of course, it's my first one, and I spoke to you a while back about this before I started, right. But, mine is the same thing. It's, it's nonfiction. It starts back in the early 70s at what piqued my interest in this whole spiritual, what come to be paranormal thing,
Right. And, that's also, we talked about it before as well, and that's why I started the podcast, because my son was in the car accident, and we knew it was going to be a long time of recovery at home where we were sitting at home. Everything got flipped a 180 that I was doing, and that was my focus, was his recovery. And then I said, there's got to be a way. I feel so blessed, and so many things happened that I thought I needed to share with people that were maybe in a depression or dealing with life changes or dealing with having a loved one that was hurt or harmed or lost a loved one. And so how can I reach out and maybe put a little bit of love and light back into the world? And that's when I did the podcast, and also getting to talk to people that could inform me on things, because me, guys, right. I'm a huge believer in miracles.
Right.
And hard left turns are sometimes turn out to be good right turns.
How long have you had your podcast now?
This will be, it's just a little over a year. It seems like longer than that, but I think it's just a little over a year.
Really? Because it seems like I
Yeah,
thought it
no,
was.
it's been longer than that.
Yeah, I thought it was about 2 years ago that we were.
Yeah.
On. Maybe not.
Maybe I've just lost track of time.
Yeah, we resemble that.
Yeah, we can.
It's possible.
We can
It's
we can definitely relate on that subject.
Wow, because you can get so caught up. I mean, you're enjoying life and taking in everything around. I just want to absorb everything in this. It depends on how you look at things.
Right.
It really, really does. I mean, you can take a blow, a devastating blow, and if you look at it, you stand back and go, hold on. This isn't the worst thing that can happen. And what direction is this shooting me in? And maybe look at the possibilities instead of everything else.
And it's Sysco. It's funny you say that because and I hate to put you on blast, Haley, but you know Haley from Keystone State Paranormal with Dave Haney and Jim.
Yes, I do.
Well,
Hi, Haley.
we Haley and I were talking the other night, and I mean, the topic was paranormal, but somehow it went to like her core beliefs and my core beliefs and how we got into it. And we came basically, her and I, we came at it from two different directions. Now I'm going to try to make this make sense because I know I can sound very confusing. We were talking about the paranormal and what led her to it, what led me to it, her beliefs, my beliefs, from religious beliefs to scientific beliefs. And though we came from different backgrounds in the field, kind of like where we're at right now, all our beliefs are exactly the same, where no matter where we come from, it all lined up and we're at the present and see the same. And I find that with a lot of people that I talk to. You know what I mean? People are in it for different reasons. You know what does it make sense what I'm saying?
It does, because look, if we're all just say we're all taking a trip to Oz, we just took different roads to get there, but we're all going to experience, the magical, mystical thing that is Oz.
Right, right.
I mean? Just took different yellow brick roads to get there.
Right.
And that's the way it is. The paranormal, the supernatural, the metaphysical, all of that, it was here before we got here. It's going to be here after we're gone, and probably we're all part of it anyway.
Right.
And how we come into it or how we got I find that fascinating because everybody I talk to, like you just said, came into it in a different way. The most common being,
right,
they had some type of experience they couldn't explain, started to investigate in their own way or ask questions or look into it, and then found the road,
right,
their own road to whatever it is. And sometimes, I really don't think that that's an accident. I mean, I don't know if I'm choosing the right words there, but I know, guys, we've discussed before on how we can all be sitting in a room and you'll have different people that are interested in this, and we'll meet, like, say, 1 year, and we'll have a discussion, and then we might bring up something like, just say portals or dimensions, something along those lines. And then you might have half the group go, I don't know, I'll buy this over here, but I don't know if I believe in that. Or I might not believe in reincarnation, but I believe this is possible. And then you find out you meet a year later, and those people, half of those people go, I looked into it and I had some experiences that allowed my mind to accept some things, and now I'm not so sure. It could be true. I think that in some cases people aren't ready for full information. We don't even, I don't care. You can meet somebody that's, I've been 45 years in this. I know nothing.
right.
I have ideas. I have theories. I have things I'm comfortable with, but I'm not an expert on anything.
Right.
But
Yeah, I think the only way we're going to be an expert on it is when we die, to know what's on the other side.
Even then, how many? This is going to sound weird, but that can of worms has been opened already. But
think
even the dead don't know sometimes, Ernie. Have you ever spoken with a person who's dead and has no clue what's going on? And even people that have crossed over, not dead and stuff, but, in our terms, of how we say it, but crossed over and come back as a visitation, and they don't even have, they got a little bit,
right
here a little bit there, but they're, they don't have all the information either. Or they'll be really evasive about it.
Right.
They'll say,
Well, see, it could be a thing maybe we're just not supposed to have it figured out, because most people that have been, I mean, this is just to my knowledge, but most people that have been visited or, claim to have spoken to a loved one or what have you, most of it is basically, they want a message out, or they want you to know they're okay, or they want you to know they love you, they miss you, or they're protecting you. It's not that we sit and say, okay, well, all right, Granddad, how is it on Sundays in heaven? It's just you don't get that information. It's very minimal and very basic. It's
true. The things that I have gathered, and I think this is so fascinating, but I've gathered them from all different eras. We've talked to this, infinitely when we've all been together and spoken about it. So if I repeat something, please forgive me. But I think what I have comfortable sitting on that fence, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's all love. They do see us. They do pay attention. It seems like they connect into us, and I'm talking about our loved ones or our friends, people that we've connected with in life, are still with us in their death, if that's what you want to call it. And when we connect into that energy, like when that song comes on the radio and we remember them and we're singing and we're thinking about them, they're there with us.
Right.
Even if it's just a moment.
Right.
Because we get those messages back later.
Right.
Okay? That's one. Two, the thing I feel very comfortable in saying is I really do think this is cool, man. I really, for lack of a better term, I really think that this is a place that we came back to learn the hard way.
Right.
I had a medium once that I respect very, very much. And you guys are like me at this point. We know who we're talking to that knows. Right. And those who are just trying to pull something.
Yeah.
I'm way past that point. It's like I know people that know. And mean what they say and are honest in their words and their knowledge that they give. And one of them said to me that almost, if you want to say the enlightened beings, let's just say enlightened beings, whether it be our ancestors or whatever you want to put that label on, that are crossed over or that are in that arena, think of us almost heroic.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are other places we could have reincarnated to that were much easier. Because think about Earth. If you look up into the sky and you see this infinite number of places, what a great amount of space, right?
Oh, yeah.
We don't even have a clue. We don't even have a clue how deep that goes or how infinitum that is, right?
Right.
Is it possible that we reincarnate? And we have a choice on where we reincarnate.
Oh, wow.
To reincarnate here would be heroic, would it not? We're such a young planet if you think about it. We still kill people here. We still fight.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I put a bit of if around that. But if we could have gone to another place that stays more elevated in how they treat each other, it would be probably an easier run. You know what I mean?
Right.
But here we come, it's harder. And I just, when she told me that, she said that about 7 years ago, and I look at things different. And that's what I said in the beginning. If we are souls to reincarnate multiple times, just to elevate our frequency.
See, let me ask you. I have a question about what you're saying.
Okay, go ahead.
And this is I want your opinion. If we are able to reincarnate,
Okay.
you believe that it's a choice. We can make the choice where or what we want to, where we want to go, or what we want to be.
Do I believe that?
Yeah, or do you believe it's just like, you know, when our spirit leaves our body and goes home, and our human body is deceased. You know, is it like, hey, you know, soul of Ernie, I got this mission I know you can handle. Here's where you're going next. You think it's like that, or do you think it's like you volunteer and say, yes, I can do that, I'll go?
Okay, well, here goes another can of worms. They're all over the place tonight. They're going to be everywhere. Okay, if you're asking me what I think, and again, it's a theory that I'm comfortable bouncing around in right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay? I honestly believe that we do have somewhat of a choice. However,
uh-huh.
I also think that it has something to do with a soul group. I honestly believe that we don't reincarnate alone each time. I think that we reincarnate and possibly, like you've heard those theories where you come back and, I don't know, your best friend was really your grandmother, or
right.
You know, or your brother, or
right.
You know, or that kind of thing. There's kind of like soul groups that we kick around with in each lifetime.
Right.
I believe that we actually kind of sort of wait on each other in some cases. Like, okay, now we got to go back. We got to get this right, because we lose our memory, right?
Okay.
We don't know any of that when we come through. Do you ever hear that theory is like where you choose your parents? Like, I chose these parents because I needed to go through this to chip off whatever else it might be, so I can elevate my frequency to a higher frequency. I think we're all trying to get to that higher vibration.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? And once you get to that ascended vibration, I think you also have a choice. I've gone far enough, I'm done.
Right.
I really think it's free will, but I think get there, we're all just jazzed up about it. Like, oof, that was a rough one. Yeah, boy, wait, you know, well, this time I'm going to go and I'm going to do this, and this, and I'm going to get it right this time, you know, and I'm not going to be jealous. I'm not going to, you know, it's so hard. It's so wonderful, and it's so amazingly beautiful, and it's so confounded confusing all at the same time.
Right.
But it's so simplistic. But I think it's just confusing and somewhat aggravating, because we don't have all those puzzle pieces. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But it makes so much sense. I mean, what about these kids that come through at 2 and 3 and have memories of dying in World War II? You know, in a downed, they were a pilot.
Yeah. I've done some study on that, and some of those cases are amazing. There was the one little boy. Geez, this has been years, but I can't remember it. You know, but I mean, I can't remember it in detail. But he was having like memory sparks of, he was some sort of like fighter in the military or what have you. And he actually, I believe, was able to give the name of the person.
Yeah.
And his parents researched it, and come to find out, I forget what war or where it was, but all this information this 2 or 3 year old was given was spot on.
We have a comment from Grant Peter. Our spirit energy is infinite, only part of over our energy comes back to learn. The lesson is in physical dimension.
There you go. I agree with that. And that's just me. Look, I'm nobody. I'm Sysco. I'm here to learn just like everybody else. And
Right.
we could cross over and go, oh, man, look, we had that right. But gosh, it was so far off on this one. Boy, that's a, you know.
But see, that's the way, in my opinion, Sysco, that's how you learn, because, you know, you were just speaking about things that you feel may occur, things that you believe in, and
Right.
basically what I believe in is somewhat different. But I guarantee you the next time we have our 1 or 2 hour phone conversation, you'll express what you believe happens, and I'll express what I believe happens, and somewhere there's a happy medium there where both of our theories kind of line up, and we both scratch our head like, wow, okay, now this does make sense. So in my opinion, that's the best way to learn when you're researching this field.
Oh, definitely.
Is if everybody agrees on everything, we're not going to solve nothing.
That's true. That's true. Because then you want to bring in. Now this is way out of my league. When we start talking about that, when I have people, when I speak to people like Zariah Ascaf and people like that, I just have to go, oh man, explain that to me again. Like I'm a 3-year-old, because that was like outside. When you start to get in dimensions and Tesla and the 12 dimensions, maybe 13 dimensions, and all this other stuff is parallel universes. Like,
okay, now you're hurting my brain. Stop that.
But think about it for a sec. If you think about it, like, if there really is like a parallel universe happening at the same time we are,
right?
And there's someone like me, and then that person made another decision, and I'm like, whoa, wow, Because I had a person talk to me too about fragmented souls, and I said, what do you mean by fragmented souls? And that was a little part of it, like splitting off. Because if you think about it, I don't want to lose the chat and the people listening. Think about it as all of us are like a vast ocean, okay? Then you take a bucket of water out of that ocean. Is it any less part of that ocean? No, it's just in a different form being moved away. They take a handful of that water out of the bucket and you scatter it. Is it any less part of that ocean? No, it's still a part.
Right.
Yeah, Dave Ingram said, actually made a comment, it's like the computer in the Matrix.
Right. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I've never seen the Matrix movies.
Just do a lot of this.
Yeah. So, Sysco, let me ask you, do you feel that every person on this earth that passes away, do you feel everyone's reincarnated, or is it just certain people?
I think, again, and I'll say this, I think it's free will. I don't think everybody does. I don't think everybody does every time. I don't think that there's a time limit, like say, okay, they want to come right back through because they have to do something really quick.
Right.
Okay.
Because I really believe, now, as a mom who has lost 4 children, let that
God
sink
bless.
in a minute.
Wow.
You were talking to a woman who has lost 4 children against my will. It wasn't a choice, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, and almost lost 1. Just 2, several times.
Yeah, I don't think I could handle losing 1, let alone 4.
So, and it's not like I'm grasping for a reason here, but I'm comfortable thinking that a soul can come through, even a child, and lose them quickly at a young age, even before they're born or whatever, because we all learn from that. Now, what if that soul had something that it needed to do, a selfless thing, or it's different. It's different I'm telling you, it's different on the other side. There's knowledge, there's knowing, there's just so much. But think about what the parents went through,
right,
losing that child.
Right.
That couple went through, or that mother went through.
Right.
And maybe that soul did that so we could go through those things and get through them.
Well, I'm definitely a firm believer of every person has a specific purpose in life or a reason that they're here. You know what I mean?
Do you think we have a choice? Do you think we have a choice, or do you think it's destined? Do you think it's predestined? We have.
I base mine on my religious beliefs. So I feel when God says, "Hey, it's your time to come alive now," I believe He's putting us here for a specific reason. And, we're going to go through all the trials and tribulations and all the ups and downs of life. But at the end of the day, I do believe there's one specific reason we're here. And over the past, I would say, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years, I think I've really narrowed it down to why I'm here. I mean, as silly as that sounds,
No, it doesn't.
I really think I have figured out why I'm here, and it's because of not so positive things that have been happening in my life that made me come to this realization. Because just about on every episode of this podcast, I always say, you know, things happen for a reason. At the time, we're not supposed to know, but in the end, we find out. And, you know, I go on and on and on about that. But I honestly do think I've discovered why I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean? And
well, we've got a couple comments. One of them is from Peter Collier. He's a medium from the UK and done tasks on TV and radio over many years. He's talked to spirits every day and been speaking with higher beings for years, and we are constantly energy flowing, learning over and over again. Peggy Henry's comment to that is we're supposed to be here at certain places at certain time to help others. Then we also have Haley Eisenhart going, I believe in multiple dimensions, and I'd go so far as to say some, if not all of us, is connected to the roles of others in some way.
right. Hey, I wish.
See, I can agree with all of that. And isn't it funny how I can agree with all of that at the same time?
Yep.
And that's true. And that's what I like. That's what I like about this field is
Yeah.
there's not one direction. You can basically take anyone's thought on something or anyone's opinion, and some, you know, if say you're in a maze, like a corn maze, and there's a big opening, and what Sysco believes goes this way, what that gentleman from the UK believes goes that way, and what Haley believes goes that way, and of course I'll be the last one going this way. At some point, we're all going to meet back up at that original starting spot, because I think everyone's beliefs and philosophies and theories, it's somehow or another, it all comes together.
Yep.
Because that's part of, you know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. But see, and it shouldn't be, if you stand back now, where's Sysco in that cornfield? Sysco's going to hover above and watch everybody.
Right.
Because, and, you know, not that I'm any different, but I've just learned to try to get the big picture, because Haley went that way, because while she goes that way, she's going to pick up knowledge on, say, like the metaphysical, like on gemstones and healing and herbs and things like that on her journey.
Right.
And Ernie's going to pick up, you know, the helping of the people along the way that trip and fall and can't walk on their own and needs a little more understanding and an ear and a shoulder. And this one's going to do this and say, don't be afraid of that dimension, because it's just like this one, except it goes like that. Everybody's got their own base knowledge, but as you said, we all get together at the end, and that's really cool. And I've wondered too, when you hear different spirits crossing, you know, different levels, you know, where there's people that are supposed to help you across. And then I sit back and I think, well, why do people get stuck then? You know, and I had a couple of people give me some ideas on that. As well, they got stuck from their own self. It's like their own imprisonment, I guess, in some ways. They block themselves, because I've talked to spirits who have gotten blocked and then found a way out. And they said how silly they were, because all they had to do was ask for help.
Right.
You see what I mean? They had head down and depressed. And the people that I've talked to about helping ghosts across and things like that, it's like we've talked before, it's like a therapy. You know, sometimes it can go in 5 minutes, sometimes it can take 5 visits, sometimes it can take 20, because it depends on the individual. And how much of a blockage they have. What are they seeing? How are they feeling? What are they understanding?
Right.
And I think that happens too when people cross. It's their own little gig, you know? I've had several, and gosh, I got so many stories I could tell you right now. I mean, I just lost my ex-husband in October. And, you know, he's the father of my oldest son. I mean, we're very close. We were married for years. He turned out to be a good friend in the end. But he had a difficult time crossing. And I actually had to think, and I'm like, I can't do anything. I can sit on my kitchen floor and talk on the phone and talk to people who had to go there. I couldn't be there. It was another state, many states away. But I said, wait a minute, I know people. So I started, I just asked my spirit guides, what do I do next? And got some ideas, and found out the first person I called knew something that they could do to help. And that story, anybody that's interested in that story, is in my book, and it's called A Tale of Two Bikers. He was a biker. He was he was a real biker. He was a 1%er.
Hey, let me go off course just for a second.
Sure.
As far as in the very beginning when we started talking this evening, you were saying all the things you're involved in and make and this and that, and now you have your second book. How can everybody get this stuff? How can they find it?
Selfless plug. Come on.
Sysco Murdoch, Facebook, DM me. I'm right now setting up my website. They used to have big, gigantic websites, and then everything happened with my son. I shut everything down because I was actually selling stuff, and I was in, it's away, and I couldn't get to my inventory. So I shut everything down, and now I'm starting to open everything back up. Just DM me on Sysco Murdoch. You can see lots of pictures there, the jewelry I make, the dream catchers, the canopies and things, and the wall hangings and stuff I make. And I can send you pictures, or you'll see then when the Facebook shops and stuff open up, and you'll see those. And I mean, it's as simple as saying, hey, look, I'm looking for something in a rose quartz. What do you got? And I'll send you beautiful pictures of stuff like that.
Do you know
My book is on Amazon.
Do you know how to spell Ernie properly, so when you send me my autographed copy?
Yes, I do. And I'm hoping to. I just ordered some books from Amazon. My book is in print now. It was in Kindle, and now I wrote it with Steve Stockton is in there too, with a lot of funny quips and quotes. It's so funny. But it's in paperback, and I ordered some, and I'm hoping to have a little signing, like right around Christmas.
Oh, wow.
So where, it'll be alive. So if you want to get it at a reduced price, I will sign it and get it to you, put it in the mail. So I'm going to try to do that. But you can get it on Amazon right now, and they have something really cool. It's called We Are All Children in the Wilderness of the Afterlife, a guided tour through a haunted life. And it's basically me.
Now, when you
covered awesome.
When you decide to, release like the signed copies or whatever, make sure you post that ad on our Paranormal Inc. page,
Yes,
because I know a lot of people's going to want to buy it all, on our page.
I sure will. And like I said, it'll be at a reduced price. It won't be Amazon's price. It'll be, mine. And I'm going to autograph them and try to get them in the mail as soon as possible. So if you want to get a gift, like I said, getting close to Christmas, and they take so long for altar copies.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, the last time it took them like 9 weeks to send me my altar copies. So I don't want to promise for Christmas, but I can do the best I can.
Right.
But the book turned out really good. I'm really proud of it.
You should be.
The cover is Warren Designs. He's out of the UK, and I gave him a couple little ideas. And the first draft, I was like, my God, that's it. I mean, it's gorgeous. The cover's gorgeous, and it's got added content. And if you get the paperback, you can gift the Kindle for like $1.99. So if you get yourself the paperback, you can gift the Kindle to somebody for Christmas if you want. That's really cool. So,
oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. My intent was to write the experiences I had. I'm not preaching to anybody or anything. I was like, look, this is what happened to me.
All right.
This is how it sounded. This is what it smelled like. This is what it looked like. This is what happened.
You know what? I read so much that a few years ago, Ruby bought me a Kindle. I guess I don't remember if it was Christmas, my birthday. And man, of course I got a ton of books on there, but I just don't get that same.
I need the paperback.
I know I don't get that same pleasure out of reading off a Kindle. It just.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
you got those pages you got to flip.
I can't get away from the book. I keep a book.
Yeah.
I keep a book in my personal car. I keep a book in my police car. And like basically everywhere where I sit in my house, there's a book there, because I'm one of those people that, I'm in the middle of 5 books at one time, because it just goes based on what my mood is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
books have always been my best friends, man. I was an only kid. I was an only kid, and I was always in new school. The first place I'd find out where it was the library,
Yeah.
Because you could always be reading a book on the bus, or you could take you anywhere. You could escape. You could go anywhere. And when I was a driver in the Army, I used to be, I was a truck driver, but I wound up doing some VIP duty for a while for a Fulberg Colonel. And he used to like going places and not telling me how long we were going to be there. And I always had a book tucked up. I always had a pack of saltine crackers and a book tucked underneath.
Right.
Because he could be in there for 6 hours, and I wouldn't have a book.
I remember my mother used to take my brother and I when we were little. We used to go once a week to the library, and we were literally there all morning. Like, because it took me so long to go through what I wanted to take out for the week. And, because besides having to, like, check out certain books for, like, because we used to get them, like, for book reports, not just at the school library, but the public library. And, I would get the books I need for school, then I get the ones I want to read for fun. And it was just so much fun, because
What's your favorite question when you go up to the library and you go, how many books am I allowed to take out?
Yeah, I burned my limit several times.
And see, I used to like, there were certain series of books when I was a kid that, it was about the same character. I guess like how, the kid that's a wizard. Harry Potter. It's like back in the and I even read those, but back in the day you'd have a character like that, and you would look forward to the next adventure coming out.
Yep.
And it's funny because one of my favorite ones from the early 70s, a series that I read, they actually have a couple of them on Amazon, and I bought them. And it's like a 5th or 6th grader's book, but it's just fun to read again, 40 years later.
I love the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew series.
The Hardy Boys.
I was all over that.
Yeah. Who? All right, I got a trivia question. Who was the Hardy Boys on TV?
The guy, I know who they are.
Davidson, what was it? No, it wasn't Davidson. I can see him.
The cute smooth mace. Yes, dude, I know who you're talking about.
Sean Cassidy.
And the other dude.
Parker Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I can see him. I can see that haircut.
Yeah.
My sister, who was actually watching, had a major crush on Parker Stevenson.
She married, he married Kirstie Alley.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I didn't know that.
I'm like a plethora of useless TV trivia.
That's funny.
I don't know how I know these things that have like no meaning in life. Like
fountain of useless
Now
information.
me having memories now. I mean, I'm trying to think of the earliest books that with me it was always ghosts, it was always hauntings, it was the occult, it was this, it was that, it was witches, it was this, I wanted to learn all of it at a very young age, very, very young. And with me, honestly, I was scared to flip on this, but I was reading, when I was like 9 or 10, you got to think about it, that was like 75,
Yeah.
right.
So
we're back there with you, Sysco. Don't worry about
our
it.
age is hanging out, my dear. I'm telling you what.
We're back there with you.
what was coming out at those times? All the books, the true accounts of Vietnam by the soldiers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was reading all the sergeant's books. I was reading all, and my mom said, "What? I don't understand why you're reading all this macabre stuff." And I said, "Because I want to know the truth." I was 10, and I was reading these books.
Right.
And I would tell her things that would happen. I swear I was in a war. You want to talk about reincarnation? I know I was a soldier before. I know it, probably many times.
You know what book?
When I first went to basic and I put that uniform on and I did the first tactical bivouac and I had that helmet, the chin strap was swinging. And I was chewing gum, and I'm looking through my M16, and I'm walking through through the woods. I was like, I felt like John Wayne, man. I'm like, I'm home. I mean, I really felt like I was supposed to do this.
You know what book I recently got my hands on?
What was that?
Everyone knows the story and the play and the book of Peter Pan, right?
Yep.
But not too many people know where the child's version came from. And I actually have the book written by the original author of the original Peter Pan story.
Wow.
And it's
probably a lot more harsh.
Well, it's definitely, it's not for kids.
Right.
Because it's based on I mean, I look at it as fiction slash nonfiction because the author based his book on some inner feelings he had toward a traumatic family event. And, once they cleaned up the original story, it became child friendly.
Right.
But it's
just like anything. Look at Tinkerbell. You're bringing that up. Look at Tinkerbell, and the way Disney made fairies. Fairies are not like that.
Right. I know.
Little
Right.
glitter throwers.
Right.
They're not. They're nothing to be messed with.
Right.
And we're talking about things that we believe in and we don't believe in. Do I believe in fairies? Why not? Because I don't know enough to say they don't exist.
I'm actually reading. They just had last year a new bookstore in our local mall. I used to go to the store FYE, and I used to buy like all my collectibles and stuff like that. Where they recently closed that down and opened it up into a new bookstore, and I actually bought a book on fairies that I'm reading, and it's one of the 5. It's scattered throughout the house, but
it's just like anything else. It's just respect. I mean, if you talk, I'm Native American, and we have all kinds of different things that
right.
you just learn to respect it. There's things out there, and like I said, I don't know enough to discount anything.
Hey, I got an idea, Sysco.
What's up?
When you get rich off your book sales, we ought to take a cross-country road trip and go investigate elementals and fairies. Wouldn't that be cool, though?
That'd be fun.
Like, I forget which one of the paranormal shows it was, but I believe it was Ghost Hunters International, but I think they were in Ireland, and they were talking about the whole elemental thing, and it's so fascinating,
If you want to read a good book, you get a hold of Barry Fitzgerald's book and don't put him down. He's got about 4.
Does he really?
When he quit Ghost Hunters International, I knew I liked this guy for a reason. I would watch him, and I keep pointing to the kids, to my sons, going, "There's something with this guy I like."
Right.
His energy. And then I found out later when he stopped and he did what he really wanted to do. He went back with all elementals and.
Well, you could tell how knowledgeable he was when they took the episode to Ireland and he was speaking about Ireland and about the legends and all. I mean, you could
learn about portals and all these things. I mean, man, I could talk for hours on that because this whole missing 411 stuff. I'm still 100%. I'm like, oh man, portals. I know it.
Right.
Because my native elders have taught me about these things. I have been in the woods and had it go completely silent and stopped and knew. Back up. Retrace your backup. Don't even turn around and walk the other way. Back up.
Yep.
Right.
You are somewhere you don't need to be.
Right.
And I mean, I took my kids once. We were up on Montesano Mountain, and I don't know if you guys heard The Cabin, but I wrote this story about stuff that happens up on that mountain. I mean, it's it's fiction. But anyhow, I was up there, and I just knew there was something there. Now, what? I don't know. Was it a warning? It was different. I wasn't getting it through my normal filters, if you know what I mean. It was completely different. Everything went dead silent. I mean, you didn't hear birds, nothing. And I was like, okay, back up.
That's the creepiest feeling in the middle of the woods where you hear nothing at all. And I've been there.
I have grabbed both my kids, and I mean, they were mad at me. It's like, no, we are out of here.
Right.
And we backed up. And see, in cases like that, you never know. If I didn't do that, what would happen? But in that case, I'm really glad I don't, because, I mean, that's happened to me more than once. But at that time, I was a mom with kids near me, But what if it was one of those where, he was just going to go around the rock and then disappear?
Right.
I don't know what to say about this missing 411 stuff. Do I think it's all the same thing? No. If it's DNA, if it's blood type, if it's heritage, if it's this, if it's that, I have no answers for it. But I think some of it has to do with dimensions and portals and just walking through, because certain cases, like, have you ever heard the one with the farmer and the cow? He's standing there in the field and he's fixing a fence. And he does it all the time. Well, there's a mom cow, and there's a baby calf, and then there's a couple other calves. Well, the mom, he turns around, clips some barbed wire or something, turns back around. The baby cow is gone. Now, he's in that open field. The only hole in the fence is right there that he's fixing.
Mm-hmm.
He can see the whole field.
Mm-hmm.
He can hear the baby cow.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot see it. The mother cow can hear the baby cow and keeps standing and looking in one direction in emptiness, just field. And he can hear it, but he can't see it. They searched for that and never found it.
Wow.
Did it fall in a hole? Did it fall in a hole and the hole closed up? I mean, what is your explanation for that?
Right.
What about these times where they see something similar to that, but it's a snow-covered field, and then the tracks go right to the middle of the field and disappear?
Right.
Or did it get lifted out by a helicopter?
Right. I think there's so much out here. I mean, whether we're talking about, UFOs or aliens or portals or, wormholes or spirit.
Right.
It's so much that it just, you can't get a grasp on it, especially with the amount of our brain that we use. You know what I mean?
It's unbelievable. And I mean, we're just talking about a simple thing, like having a human being that you love, you're with every day, and it's a Monday afternoon, a simple Monday afternoon, and all of a sudden they're gone.
Right.
This thing called death.
Yeah.
None of us can escape it, that we know of at this time. If somebody knows it, they're not sharing the info.
Yeah.
But, and there's that person, and then what could be crazier than that?
And see, I think, too, the older I get and the more I learn,
and he goes like this when he learns.
I don't think that this is now when I say our being, I mean our soul or our spirit. I don't think this physical life that we're in now is our main purpose. This is just a stepping stone to our greater purpose.
That's it, man. And at my age right now, Ernie, that's exactly where we started this conversation and exactly where we are now.
Hey, watch them age jokes. I'm not far behind you.
Well, see, the thing is did we learn in that time? I've met people my age that are in kindergarten still when it comes to anything like this, you know? And they're just bouncing around like pinball, like that pinball with the
But think if there wasn't skeptics in the world, then we wouldn't have to work as hard as we do to validate the things that we validate,
Skeptics. I mean, like some people, how do I put this? It's like, and I don't mean any kind of mental illness. I just mean like the depression, like the woe is me people.
Right.
Where, and I get that, like I said, some people aren't ready, and some people are so ready, it's amazing. But I guess I just chose, look, here's one for the chat. I've worked for the same company for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
A week ago on social media, we found out it was going out of business. Mm-hmm. We didn't find out from the company till a day and a half later.
Wow.
And what was my first reaction to that? It's a job. I'll get another job. I know how to do a lot of things. I'm not really worried, about that. I mean, it stinks because you got to go, I got to go start filling applications. I need to do this. I got my son to think about that I'm providing for. But my worry is not going there.
Mm-hmm.
I know it, that it's not going to be an issue because to me, hard left often turn out to be right turns. I'm supposed to be somewhere else, and this is going to catapult me that direction. I know it. I'm just looking for where's all the windows? Wow, look at this, because that's what I've learned in my lifetime. I knew the immediate thing I knew to do was go back in there and help people who weren't going to be thinking like that. The people that were going to have hard times filling out applications because they've been there 20 years and don't know what Google is.
Yeah.
Now you can't just walk in and get a job. Hi, I'm here. I need a job. Do you have a paper application? My job was to go in there and round those people up and comfort them.
Yeah.
And show them the way out of the hole.
Yeah, I mean the times have changed as far as oh Lord have mercy.
Think about that perspective. There's got to be at least 15 people there that if they don't get help finding something else, they're not getting unemployment because they were part-time. not getting this, they're not getting assistance. Everybody always thinks there's things that fall in place. There's things that'll help people do this. No, there isn't.
I have a very interesting comment. Grant is saying, his guide's saying that skeptics are young souls in early stages of the journey and are still learning.
You bet. Spot on, I think.
Yep, I like it.
Spot on.
Sysco, we are getting the signals that we are just about out of time.
The red light is flashing.
The red light is flashing.
How much time does that mean you have? Because I'd love to tell you a quick Christmas story.
Go ahead.
We have 4 minutes on the board, so go for it.
Okay, this is it real fast. Okay, my son and I, he could not watch color TV because it would give him seizures. So we started off with old black and white. So we were watching old black and white movies. It was 3-4 days before Christmas. And in between these, I think it was Harvey or Arsenic and Old Ladies were watching. And in between, they showed this little clip of Mario Lanza. He was a fantastic tenor. And fantastic. He was very popular in the 40s and early 50s. And he just came on and sang a beautiful Christmas song with a choir in a cathedral somewhere. And I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, you got to pay attention to this. This is your grandmother's, my mother's favorite Christmas song. The man was singing Ave Maria. And it happened to be her favorite tenor, Mario Lanza. So we sat and we listened, and we had a moment of memory of her and listened to this beautiful song to the point of even looking up the Latin and what it meant. We talked about her a little. Okay. So about a week later, I'm on the phone, and I'm trying to hook up this medium with a Victorian seance for a friend of mine that's having a seance. And I never met the woman before. I'm talking to her on the phone, trying to give her directions to the place and everything else. And she says, hang on a minute, I got a woman here. She's not going to let me continue to talk to you until I give you this message. And I just got to laugh. I said, go ahead, hit me. She starts describing a woman. And I'm going, and she's describing my mother.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Who passed in 1976.
Wow.
And I was smiling. I'm being ear to ear, but I've learned not to say anything.
Right.
I'm just like, And what did she say? She said, was she a religious woman? And I said, she was kind of spiritual. She wasn't very religious, but, we had many discussions about it, but she's more spiritual. And I said, why did you ask? She said, because she's standing here singing Ave Maria at the top of her lungs. And I said, there you go.
Wow. That's amazing,
that's
Sysco.
incredible.
Then she said to me, she heard her grandson talking about Ave Maria with you sitting on a couch.
Oh, wow.
And I said, what? She said, yes. She said she was there. And I said, good. Merry Christmas, Mom. And right then, she walked through me, and I got a hug. My entire body warmed like I was being hugged. You know that feeling you get when you hug somebody who loves you?
Yeah.
That's what I got. And the lady on the phone said, she just walked through you.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's
incredible.
I said, Merry Christmas, Mama. Merry Christmas.
Wow.
So do not think if you are lonely and you're missing a loved one, a pet, or something else, please know that they can hear you. Just tell them you love them and know that they're okay and they see you. And Merry Christmas.
Oh, I believe they're there. You know what I mean? I really do. But thank you so much for sharing that with us.
It was a beautiful thing. So. Love them back. That's all. That's all it is. Love is eternal, I think. That's my opinion. And I love you guys.
Love you, babe.
We love you too, Sysco.
Thank you for coming on our show. We have really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, and we really appreciate you coming on, and even with our hour time change. I mean, I'm so glad you were still able to do it.
Yeah, well, it was meant to be.
And good luck with your book sales. I'm definitely looking forward to reading them both.
It's a feel-good book. It's got a lot of scaries in it, too, but you know what? It all around, it's a feel-good book. It's going to lift you up, and that was my intent.
Well, make sure you get that posted on our Paranormal Link page, because I know some of our friends that follow the page is going to want to buy it. We will be in touch with you, Sysco. Thank you.
Definitely.
We love you, too. And if I don't talk to you by Christmas, have a great Christmas, and we'll be in touch by the first of the year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry everything and happy always, hon.
Go put your pants on, honey.
Wait. I'm standing up in the video. I actually have. Wait a minute. No flash.
Lord.
There you go. I have real pants on this time.
That was a whole different.
Yeah. Whole different animal. My bad.
So. Good night, Sysco. Thank you.
Happy Hanukkah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
What an amazing lady.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Did I tell you that? I mean, it didn't. How long did it take for that conversation to go deep? Like 20 seconds. I knew it.
Yep.
She is such a
amazing,
in-depth, spiritual type person that even like tonight, the way she was on the show. If I call her, or she calls me like while I'm on my way to work.
Right.
That's how our conversations are all the time.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's
so.
amazing.
All right, everybody. Glad you had a good Thanksgiving. Thank you for sticking with us for an hour. Want to give a quick what's up to Cindy
Thompson, thank you for checking in. And in 2 weeks, my boy Ted's going to be on here. I'm going to call you to remind you if you haven't watched this. I sent you an invite, but you're going to be on this. You're next. And then I'm going to try to get us in 2 weeks from there a special guest. You don't know yet. I'm working on it. So I'm hoping somebody from the Haunted Collector may be coming on here. He doesn't know yet, but if he happens to be watching, I'll reach out to you. Maybe. Don't guarantee that.
Anyway, if you're watching, what's up, Brian?
My IQ, 1.
See you guys. We love you. Thank you.
Everything and happy always.
See you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you.